the developer of this 8x8 system for sublimation for mugs and tumblers. This is version 1. By 8x8, I mean there's a grid that auto sizes to the size of the print area, which is a grid of 8 coordinates by a coordinate of 0 through 8 by 0 through 8, and you could have put decimal points after it to make it more accurate in positioning. And what I mean by that is I'm going to do a quick import here just to show you about the positioning. I'm not going to do that one. I'll do this one. I did this image with ChatGPT. But to place an object, you see it says 4. 4, 4 is the center, and everything's centered to those coordinates. 4 by 4, right? 4, 4. So we're going to change that to 6, which is the equivalent of the front of the mug if you're right-handed. The position that faces you if you're right-handed. I don't know if that's the front or the back. Depends on how you look at it, I suppose. So that would be position 6. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 6 there. And then I'm going to leave that as 4. And it's going to pop it right to the center. All right. I like rounded corners, so there's a quick button for that. Automatically rounds the image corners. Okay. And that's about how hard it is to use. That is now centered to the face of the mug facing a right-handed user. If for some reason you like the design and it's a left-handed user, there's actually a button that swaps them. It works between positions 1 and 3. Anything centered within the 1 through 3, and anything centered between the 5 and 7 will swap. So that means that something in the center opposite of the mug handles won't. That's what 0 and 8 are, the mug handles. Now, 2, 4, and 6 are critical numbers, and they're special. I'm going to go ahead and generate a Cricut cut pattern based on this. I'll do a more advanced one later just to show you what it looks like. Cricut cut pattern. You could make it so that the Cricut automatically moves the position of it, because I know they automatically go to the top left on a Cricut, but maybe you want it down a 1/4 inch for the margin compensation on the left, or maybe down 1/2 inch to compensate again. You're going to notice it put it on the right, and the reason it does that is because when I print, I do it test patterns, I do it opposite. So it's a long story, but it works out so that you don't have to hit sublimation things. It automatically reverses itself. It works out. Anyways, so I'm going to go into here, and we're going to locate the downloads directory, which is where that image goes. And as you can see, there's these 2, 4, and 6 patterns, and at the top there's a cut, and at the right there's a shorter cut. Okay, and I know it says left, but when you print, it's going to come out right. Trust me. I know it doesn't make sense, but it works. Okay, it's got to do with paper types. There is a command in there, speaking of paper types, called print. We're going to do a quick thing on there. And print allows you to mirror. There's a mirror print. If your printer doesn't mirror automatically, you can click that. It will stay. And what it'll do is it will automatically mirror from there on in, unless you uncheck it, at 600 dots per inch on the printer of your choice, or to the PDF file. And you'll see there's a current print number and an end of limited production. If you're doing, say, 50 prints only on that design, you would put a 50 there. -1 is unlimited. So 1 through 50 would print, and it would stop 50 and never print more unless you reset some of these numbers. Okay. Multiple prints allow you to print more than with just one print image at a time. Which brings me to another feature. We're going to call it text. Special text, actually. In this system, you could type in a name directly. You've got font sizes and weights and styles of your computer available. Anything you download can go in there. I'm going to put my name on here. Defaulted, of course, to whatever that normally is. You got to click outside the box to get it to move properly. And we're going to place it 6, and the yellow is 1. So at 6, 1, John is going to be centered. And there it is, it's centered, which makes that simple. And if you were to print that, it would print John, and that, of course, you know, you might want to make it bigger to see it easier on the mug. But there's a better command for that, as that's kind of a personalized thing. You can actually use a left bracket. That is a left bracket, and then a word, any word. I'm going to use name because this is supposed to be a namespace, right? And a right bracket at the end of it. You can put a phrase, a word, a sentence, whatever, and as many as you want. Now, when you go to print it, I'll do this as print number 1. It's actually going to ask you for the name at runtime. As you can see, in the words match up identically because it is a computer program, and that's what it does. Now, if I put John in, it's going to replace it at print time with my name. And when it's done, it's going to notify you it's done. And that's if you're going to run a batch of them, it's going to run them all, and then it's going to tell you when that's done too. And that's kind of a nice feature. But I also hinted earlier that there's a limited production option. And one of those things is you can actually do text. We're just going to do a quick one here. Number, sign, the hashtag of, oops, I gotta learn to spell. And we're going to do 2 hashtags. Oops, I used the wrong bracket. Hang on. And we'll do that. And we're going to place that in position 2, 7. Okay. Place 2 and 7. And that's centered opposite end of the mug, lower part of the screen. Now when I print, I can put a number here, or if I leave it blank, it's going to say unlimited there. I'll show you that first. Right, so that's me my name. If you just hit enter here, it comes off as a blank, by the way. This I'll show you one of those shortly. We're going to use dad. My dad's dead, but we're going to use dad anyways. You see it says 2 of unlimited, right? Now we could also do a limited production run. We're going to put in 5, and we're going to put a quantity to print 15, because 3 and 5 is better than 15, right? Should be much shorter. And as you see, it corrects it here. It says print number 3, 3 remaining, because it's not going to let you print beyond that without doing some work. I'm going to hit this one as an enter. This is just going to be blank. You see it's blank. I'm going to show you the PDFs in a minute. And we're going to put the name Ted. And you see that's Ted. And number 5 is going to be Nancy. Okay. And it's going to tell you batch complete. Now, you could try and print another one. And what it's going to do is it's going to tell you the production run limit was already reached. Okay. Now I'm going to go down here. There is a directory that creates itself upon first print called mug reports. And every time you print a particular file name, it's going to create a log file for it, and it's going to add it to the master production run. I'll show you that in a minute too. I'll show you the production run now. You see we printed 5 of them because that was a limited production number, 15-ounce mugs, right? And then we go over here, the batch, this one here, we'll go here, and this contains the date and times and the print number. If you're doing a limited run, this is nice for a certificate of authenticity. And here's number 5. That was Nancy. I gotta close this off. I don't know why I chose this as a default, but there it is. There's Nancy. And there's, I believe, Ted. Yeah, there's Ted. There's blank. you see, it is indeed blank. The next version of this is going to be offering a mail merge type list where you can do a list of names and handedness, and it will, or whatever fields you want, and it'll populate it at runtime with the proper stuff. I will not do pictures properly. I mean, it can place them, but it's going to place them at a specific default size because that's how things work in here. Future version, probably 3, will address that, but that's not for this one. But handedness once again swaps it. And we got the rounded corners. Move to front, it's just in case something seems lost. There's actually properties and names and all kinds of stuff. These are all names, and if you look through, some of them have like mask, text, object. So that's all I'm going to be talking about now.